come flying towards me. Emil Heskey's jumped in, pinned him, but he saved my life.
Of his 3, all against the same goalkeeper. Hear me out. Because people go, what?
He'll get hammered on socials, not me.
When people talk about great strikers,
Incredible.
he never gets a mention ever.
Bad shout.
No, it's not a bad shout. A Champions League final, FA Cup final, any final, he starts. Yes, welcome to another edition of the Shortlist with myself, Darren Bent, and Mr. Smurf, Danny Murphy. Smurf, how you doing?
I'm good.
So this week, I've chosen the criteria, and it's underrated strikers, now sort of category. And the category why we've chosen this is because not necessarily the best strikers, but it's ones that we played with or played against who are really, really good, but maybe don't get the love that they deserve. I'll let you go first, Smurf, with your number 3.
Yeah, well, number 3, I'm going to go with an old teammate of mine, and I know you'll understand this one.
I think I played with him, you know.
Maybe you did. I'm going to go Emile Heskey.
Yeah, I did.
I actually think it goes the other way with him. He gets criticism, or still people sceptical of what he was and what he gave. Mm-hmm. The biggest compliment I give to him is that he always made other players better around him.
Yeah.
He did so much hard work, but his general game was so much better than people think. You know, he could shoot with both feet, great in the air, hold-up play, obviously.
Yeah, couldn't get a ball with him.
But so unselfish for the other strikers.
Nice first touch as well, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. And I always felt that, I don't know what you think, but when he played angry,
yeah,
he was not far off unplayable. I'll never forget, probably the one game, and there's not fair to say one, but one of the ones that sticks out in the memory. We played Leeds away and beat them 4-0, and Rio was playing centre-half against him. Bad day at the office, Rio.
Was it?
Yeah. Unlike Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was him and Matteo at the time. I think Woodgate was injured. But Leeds were a good side then, as you know. And Emile, absolutely. I think he scored 2. I think he maybe settled one of the other 2 for Michael as well. It was one of those most all-round performances. And people forget when they talk about like England beating Germany 5-1 and stuff, how good he was that day.
Yeah.
Nobody can handle him when he played well. I mean, was Villa, you played with him then?
Yes, he was a bit older then, but I saw it in training at times where you're right. If someone annoyed him, then, because you know what, actually saying that, when I first got to Villa, we played a game against, can't remember, and the referee annoyed him, and he got sent off, Emil, and he was going ballistic. And it took about, no word of a lie, 6 players to try and get him off the pitch. I can't remember what happened, but that was one time I looked at Big Emma and went, oh, no. He was just throwing people. I don't know what the referee had done to him that day, but you're right. In the air, he's unstoppable in the air. I see him absolutely.
What about that one as well where he can...
On his chest?
Yeah, you think he's going to head it and he goes high and brings it down on his chest.
When people... I've heard Michael speak about it. I've heard Michael speak about it. I can understand why, though. Because if you look how good he made, certainly Michael, the goals that he'd scored, the unselfishness, do you think his numbers would have been higher? Because he's still a member of the 100 Club. Do you think his numbers would have been higher if he'd been more selfish?
Yeah, but that's not who he was.
No.
And that's why people loved him. I mean, Hude played him wide loads of times.
Did he?
Yeah. You know, especially if we felt there was a weakness on a fullback and you could get it out to him and play off him. And he never moaned. I tell you the one great thing as well about Emile. Quiet lad, nice lad, great lad, isn't he? I saw him recently actually in an England game, was chatting with him. We played Celtic away once. And I accidentally fell out with Bobo Balde.
Yeah. Ooh,
I know.
He's massive.
Well, we bumped into each other. I went on a run and bumped into him, and he thought like I hit him by accident. I didn't. So he started giving me loads. So I gave him a bit back, you know, as you do. Mistake.
Well,
no, it was from a distance. Yeah, I was having a go. He was passing and that, which he didn't like. And I just should have shut up, because it's not really me to get involved in that. And I think we'd drawn the game. It was the first leg of a UEFA Cup game. And as I'm coming off the pitch... Great experience playing at Celtic and that. We should have won, actually. We come off. I think Emile might have scored. I don't know. I caught Bobo Balde in the corner in the tunnel with his top off.
Uh-oh.
But I didn't assume it was for me, which it was. He was going to kill me. And as I got a bit closer and he come flying towards me, Emile Heskey's jumped in, pinned him, like stopped him.
Has he, yeah?
Yeah. But Emile's strength, to just, I mean, he's a big lad, Bobo, isn't he?
Massive.
He saved me day, he saved me life, never mind.
And what did Emile say to him?
He just told him to calm down, basically. But have you ever seen that side of it?
No.
He's got it in him, you know.
Has he, yeah?
Well, I think he's from a family. I think his dad and his uncles were all like doormen and God knows. I think he's got that tough side.
Well, do you know what's funny, right? you should say that. And again, I know we're going to script it, but when I first moved to Villa, didn't really know my way about Birmingham. Two of his best mates, Emma, went, listen, here's these two guys, like really, really nice guys. Peter and I can't remember the other guy's name. And they basically said, listen, if anything in Birmingham, you've got any problems, you need to know where this restaurant is, you want this Jamaican restaurant or whatever, and it's in a certain area, make sure you call me first and we'll come with you. They honestly, the nicest guys. But Emil set that up for me.
Yeah, he's a great lad.
Great lad. All right, so yours is Emil's number 3. My number 3.
I wouldn't be here, would I?
Yeah?
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Heskey now we're talking. I wouldn't be here, I'd be dead.
I'd never got to play with you either.
Eh?
Because I'd have never got to play with you either.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Well, my number 3, I've gone for, I think a younger generation wouldn't remember him at his absolute best. You remember him because he's obviously close to your club, Fernando Torres. Now, a lot of football fans maybe are divided now because of how it ended in the Premier League at Chelsea. I mean, he still won a lot, by the way, but wasn't as effective at Chelsea and these latter years at Liverpool as he was when he first came here. For me, one of the best in the Premier League. For them first 2 years at Liverpool, one of the best I've seen in terms of the type of centre forward that I like to watch. Again, you always speak about it really well, about some people are more pleasing on the eye. Raw power. I like centre forward sometimes that can just go, get out of the way. And Torres was one of those. I mean, you think back to what he did to Vidic every single time he played at Old Trafford. He was my type of centre forward.
Well, he had a spell at Liverpool where he was talked about on a serious level with some of the great strikers down the years. And still is by some fans, but I don't know where you get the fact he's that underrated. It's a bit contentious, that, because some people rave about him. You know, I was listening to something recently, funnily enough, when Stevie G was talking about him, comparing him to Suarez. He ended up, I think he chose Suarez ahead of him just. But he was raving, and he played with him behind, didn't he, as a 10 for a while. And I played against Torres a couple of times when he was on fire. And you are right about the rawness, the power in behind, the strength as well. But I think with what he did at Spain, I know he didn't play in all of them, but he was still one of their main contributors. And I think
in the final, didn't he? Over a Euro final, the World Cup final.
I think Euros.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. He in some quarters, is not as underrated as you think. I mean, where you thinking he's underrated from?
Well, I've had many conversations. I've heard people in the station, they're talking about it's always swap.
But you know a lot of Chelsea fans, don't you?
Yeah, I do know a lot of Chelsea fans, but also Liverpool fans almost forget about him, as I know, as Suarez, because Suarez came after him. Do you know what I mean?
It's not your best shout, really, is it?
No, it's my best shout.
No, it's poor.
But okay, if you were picking your top 10, would you get in your top 10 Premier League all time?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, well...
10's a lot of
That's only
strikers.
because there's so many brilliant strikers.
Yes, I think he'd be in there for me, Fernando.
Well, it's your choice, mate.
Yes,
you'll get hammered on socials, not me.
Well, underrated?
I don't think he's underrated.
He is.
Do you think?
Yeah, of course he is.
Fair enough.
But again...
It's all opinions.
I love that type of particular centre-forward where you can get ones that are lovely, elegant, Berbatov, beautiful.
I know what you mean.
But I just like sometimes just push it and go.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to play against him at his
No
best.
way, not at his pomp.
My number 2, I don't know how much you remember him, but I think when he was at it, he was not far off unplayable as well. Louis Saha.
Yeah, okay, you throw that shot a lot. Unplayable.
Well, Louis Saha had this great pace, power,
jump.
The jump. So, I mean, we talked about Emil's jump. I'd say Saha's probably better.
Yeah.
And people forget he was at Man U when they won the Champions League. I know he didn't start all the time, and he won 2 league titles there. He was amazing at Fulham. And maybe my likeness and fondness for him is because of the way I heard he was talk when I went to Fulham. You know, the way people talk about past players. And I was always like, oh, wow, they talk about it, put him up here. But then thinking about it and watching him a little bit, you know, after doing a bit of planning for this shit, what a player, mate. If he could, I mean, he had a couple of bad injuries, to be fair to him. And I've actually seen a few times when defenders have done interviews and brought him up regarding tough to play against because of that physicality. Do you ever play against him?
I think I played against him at, not United, but I think I maybe got him at Everton.
Yeah, a bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit later.
But he's still good.
Well, his goals to game is pretty good. Considering a lot of those games coming off the bench at Man U and stuff, he's still pretty good. I know we're doing underrated, so it's not all about stats, but it's not like he was struggling on his goals. He still banged them in. Near the end, not so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he is somebody who gets dismissed a little bit when you think about what his spell at United and you talk about United teams of the past Rooney, Tevez, well, Coley, Yorkie, or he never gets a mention.
No.
Berber even gets a mention ahead of him.
Yeah. Well, I think Berber won a golden boot while he was there, but you are right about Saha, good player. Obviously, Fulham, United, Everton. Why do I feel like there was somewhere else in there?
There was a spell somewhere else. I think he started. Did he have a spell at Newcastle?
So I think I can remember Newcastle.
But normally you're good at this.
Yeah, but they're the three I can remember. The Everton.
Man U and Fulham is where I remember him.
Yeah, I mean, he was even good at Everton, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I don't remember so much there.
All right, so
what's your number 2?
My number 2. Now, this guy, now, I don't know if I'm putting him as underrated, and I think you'll probably agree, right? I think he's underrated and doesn't get the respect he deserves because he's not one of those out there characters. He's a little bit within himself. Some people have said that he's a little bit hard to kind of get him to come out of his shell. Andy Cole. He, unbelievable. Now, again, Smurf, when people talk about great strikers, he never gets a mention ever. People will look for every other centre forward before they mention Andy Cole.
Well, it's a great shout because I would never, ever not mention him when I talk about great strikers. No, exactly. I was very fortunate in my timing of seeing Cole because Coley started at Newcastle when I was really into my football, really watching all the games, and he's a little bit older than me. And then, of course, he went to United with the big move and just cracked on again. He was incredible.
Yeah.
His movement was as good as there was.
Yeah.
Quick and ruthlessness to score goals.
With both feet as well.
Both feet. Never got bored of I've scored enough, I want to come off and get just more goals. I was having a chat with him recently about, I made a mistake. I was talking about strikers and I think it was a conversation about Darwin Núñez, about how many chances he gets and how many goals. People used to say about Coley should score more with the chances he gets.
Yeah.
But what people didn't understand with Coley, I'm not saying Núñez is the same as Cole. Coley's better, but Coley had more chances than the goals he got. And he got loads of goals as well.
Yeah.
But the only reason he got all those chances was because of his brain.
Yeah.
You know, that game intelligence. Because people say, oh, you missed chances. You've got to get in there. It's like Darwin now.
Yeah.
People caning him, and I get it. He's got to do better.
But he's getting in there.
But you've got to get in there off your brain, haven't you?
Yeah.
Your movement and your pace or your sharpness or whatever it is. Coley was amazing.
Unbelievable.
I don't think any United fan on the planet would say he's underrated.
The same wouldn't, but others would. And I guess it comes back to the Glenn Hoddle comment, because he's the one who made the comment, wasn't it? He needs 3 chances to score 1. And that never left him. Yeah, and that never ever left him. But you're right, I was watching a Coley 100 Club a couple of days ago. The finishes are unbelievable. Now, anyone else scores them, we're going, if Messi or Ronaldo score them, everyone's going, look at this. I'm talking about, he had every type of finish. Chip, the roll past the keeper, the smash, the head, the little bendy ones in the corner. He could do the lot.
Well, he had a bit of a bad boy image, really.
Yeah.
Not bad boy, that's the wrong term, but some people thought he was a bit aloof and a bit moody. That'd be fair.
But again, that's why I think people.
But he just kept himself to himself.
Exactly. I was again fortunate enough to have a show on a Sunday on talkSPORT, and he was before me, and I found myself every Sunday coming in and going, Andy Cole over there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that with certain players. I grew up watching him going, it's Cole over there. I still do
that when I see him now, and I've known him for years. It's a great lad, and he's been through hell as well.
Obviously the kidney and stuff like that. But as a finisher and that goal scorer, I think he got 187 Premier League goals. I think no pens.
That's the key.
That's the one. You know.
What other strikers got that many goals didn't score but didn't take pens?
The only one I could think of that didn't take that many, or maybe took one, was Les.
Les, yeah.
But you know what's funny? I don't know if you've ever been there. Have you ever been in the room when him and Shearer together?
Who?
Coley and...
No.
Because obviously Shearer took a few penalties, Coley didn't. And when they get onto the subject of, why didn't you take penalties, and Shearer's in the room, it's a little bit like...
Oh, is it?
A little bit, yeah. Because Coley's went, nah, that's scoring proper goals. So it's a little bit like...
You take pens, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's free shot goal.
Missed a load, didn't you?
No, I missed 2.
Is that all?
What, was it 2? Yeah, I missed 3, all against the same goalkeeper.
Who?
Gomez. That's the only time I missed in the Premier League.
How weird. I took 2 against him in the same game.
So did I. I took 3 in one game against him. Scored 1, missed 2.
Oh, that's poor.
It's poor, that, isn't it?
I scored 2. Anyway.
But yeah, Gomez. But yeah, I've got for Coley number 2.
Coley's, he shouldn't be on that category. What a player.
What a player, but...
No, it's a good shout. I think a lot of people don't talk about him.
All right, so who's your number 1 then? This should be interesting.
Well, number 1, I was thinking about it when we decided on the topic, and he just kept coming to my mind. And there's loads, but Mark Viduka.
Good player.
I played in that infamous game at Leeds for Liverpool and he scored all 4.
Oh, yeah. Good finishes.
And he used to play so well. Every time we played against him, he'd cause us a problem. He had that... He looked... You know, we talked before about how you look on the eye. He had that kind of lazy look about him, but never lost the ball. Strong as an ox.
Yeah.
And what a calm finisher. And for a big man, because he's huge.
Yeah.
He had the chops in the... You know, like, oh, he's going to shoot and chop you, and chop you, and chop you. And the funny thing people might not know about him, unless they've seen him interviewed a lot or remember him, depending on your age, he's the nicest guy in the world. If they beat you 4-3 and he scores all 4, if you beat him 4-0, he's the same after the game. He's chatting. He's nice.
Yeah.
How you doing? Yeah, nice to see you. But it's like, what's going on about? I don't want to talk to you. You've just scored 4 goals, whatever. And I met him on a coaching course a few years back. I think it was at Tottenham. We did a coaching course. And he was the same. Just so lovely a guy.
Yeah.
But some of the performances he put in.
Some of the
goals. He was a big factor in Leeds' success. You know, that time they were really good.
There was a time they killed Arsenal's league hopes because he scored, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he went to Newcastle and Middlesbrough. He did well for them.
Yeah.
You know, Middlesbrough were flying when he was there. And I think he's somebody people forget because of what you said earlier, what we talked about earlier. Because he's not dynamic.
No.
And he doesn't spring to mind. You know, he's not running on the end of things. You know,
yeah. Not all action.
No. But what, mate? And his numbers are so good.
Yeah.
You know, he's a bit of a throwback. I'm trying to think of anyone else now who's playing. If someone didn't know Viduka, someone young watching this, say, well, he's a bit like...
Yeah. But that's a bit like Emil, who you said earlier, and Viduka. I put them almost in the same... That target... They're not
Viduka was... He had, like, skills of a little number 10. But being massive. You know, you get near him and you think you've got him and he just chopped you and skipped through you. He had mad little twists and turns and that.
If you could have one of them in their pomp. Down the middle.
Out of who?
Emil, who's your 3, and Viduka 1.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Why didn't you answer? that's why I asked you.
Well, this isn't a question. I'd probably go Emile.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bit more mobile.
Yeah.
All right, division answer that. Okay.
And he saved me life.
True. You own everything. All right, so my number 1, right? Now, this is probably one that's going to be...
Yeah, go on, tell us.
First one was to say, it's Didier Drogba, right? Now, hear me out. Because people go, what? Whenever people are having discussions about the greatest Premier League centre-forwards, you'll hear Thierry Henry, and rightly so. You'll hear Alan Shearer. You'll hear Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, Aguero. The sole reason why Drogba's not in that category is because of his numbers.
Right.
I think he got 104 Premier League goals, which it's a lot, but compared to those boys, it's not a lot. Like, Kane's got over 200, Rooney's got over 200, Thierry 175 or something. But the ultimate big game player, and when you speak to some of his teammates, Lampard, Terry, that Chelsea team that were so successful, that were winning Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues and all that, he was at the forefront of it. Even the one they lost to Man United, he got sent off. If he doesn't get sent off, they probably win that one as well. For me, he would be close. I'd play Thierry, but he'd be close to being my centre-forward in all-time Premier League 11. Doesn't get spoke about enough. In my opinion, Premier League, greatest African player to ever come over here. I know Salah's now...
I'm talking about where you're born.
No, but people always talk about who's the greatest African player.
No, yeah, but we're talking about underage.
Okay, but that's important.
I played against him quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I saw how good he was. So it's difficult for me to comprehend him being unrated when I felt his brilliance. Yeah, felt it. Never mind seen it. You know, he's a strong boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And a nice guy as well, actually. Yeah. You know, like off the pitch. But I'm surprised that somebody or people think he's underrated, and you're saying just on his numbers. I think most people, when they talk about Drogba, put him on them. They remember the good.
Oh no,
no.
Even when we're doing phone-ins on Drive, right? Yeah. And someone says Drogba, the comments are flying.
Negatively.
Overrated. The guy scored, I think, in 12 finals.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Like, I've any player that's ever played in the Premier League, and I'm picking a team, and I've got a Champions League final, FA Cup final, any final, he starts. And that's ahead of Thierry. And Thierry's my favourite player ever.
No, that's a bad shout.
No, it's not a bad shout.
Well, because he scored in final.
In a cup final...
Who would you want in a 38-game season?
Oh, Thierry.
Yeah.
Like, for one game in a cup final for my life, give me Drogba. Over Thierry.
Who's your top 3 in a 38-game season?
Striker.
Yeah.
Thierry 1.
Yeah. Shearer?
Shearer, just simply 260 is ridiculous. Probably Rooney. I'm talking about Rooney and his pomp.
Yeah, no, I agree. So Drogba wouldn't get in.
No, but it'd be close. But if you talk about one-off game final, Didier, past any over all of them.
Yeah, I think some people will disagree because they love him and they know how good he is, and some might think, yeah, he does take unfair criticism because of his numbers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought.
Would he be in your top 5, top 10?
Strikers?
Yeah.
He'd be in my top 10 probably.
What, 5? Who's the 5? Just throw that in there as well, randomly. Why not?
I don't know. Shearer, Thierry, Rooney, yeah.
Kane?
I'd have Owen in there probably.
Over instead of who?
Just because I saw his 5+ years.
I know who your 5 would be. Fowler, Owen, Heskey, Torres, Suarez.
No. I don't know. It's a difficult question. We'll have to do that another day.
That's a nice 5. That's a nice. I think for that list we'd have to have a 5.
Probably.
We have.
We've done all 3, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we can't do that.
Give me your 3 again.
I've forgotten who 3 was already.
Emil.
Of course. Emile Heskey. Number 2 is Louis Saha, and number 1, Mark Viduka.
My 3 was Fernando Torres. 2 was Andy Cole, and number 1 was Didier Drogba.
You could argue your 3 would be in the shout for best strikers.
They could be.
Not underrated.
But they are.
I mean, did you get a wrong email?
Nah. Honestly, all of them are underrated. Especially Andy Cole. That's the one. He could have been 1.
Not by me. But I know it's a great point. That's your best shout, actually, because some people don't talk about him. Doesn't get the love he deserves.
Not at all. All right, thank you very much. Well, that's it. Another edition of the Shortlist. Listen, make sure you like and subscribe. Get in the comments. Let us know what you think about me and Smurf's picks. Do you think they're overrated? Do you think they're underrated? And also, let me know who your top 3 are that are underrated. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again shortly.